Later that day, Ross wrote,
"As we approached the land, we perceived a low white line extending from its eastern extreme point as far as the eye could discern, and proving at length to be a perpendicular cliff of ice, between 150 and 200 feet above the level of the sea, perfectly flat and level at the top."
Without yet realizing it, the expedition had discovered the world's largest floating platform of ice, now commonly known as an ice shelf. Ross realized he could not sail beyond this insurmountable barrier and commented,
"We might with equal chance of success try to sail through the cliffs of Dover, as penetrate such a mass."
In 1956, the ice shelf was officially named the Ross Ice Shelf, as published by the U.S. Antarctic Gazetteer. The two ships sailed along the ice shelf barrier for miles, while the view of the shelf continually stretched beyond the horizon. Ross ordered soundings to determine the water depth and correctly discerned that the Great Barrier of Ice must be floating and not grounded on the bottom. Later Ross wrote,
"It is a mighty and wonderful object, far beyond anything we could have thought or conceived."
Ross also correctly surmised that the tabular icebergs that they observed must have broke off from the ice barrier. Soundings showed that some of the tabular icebergs were grounded on a newly discovered undersea bank. For days the two ships sailed throughout the region, taking soundings and making measurements. During this time they pounded their way through pack ice, and fought storms, snow, and dense fog. On February 2nd, the two ships reached their farthest point south at over 78 degrees south latitude, only 12 degrees from the South Pole. The Great Barrier of Ice stretched along the horizon as far as the eye could see. They calculated that they had seen over 250 miles of uninterrupted barrier. On February 9th, Erebus hazarded the opportunity to sail within a quarter of a mile of the ice barrier, where they measured its height at 170 feet, far above the mastheads. However, at one location, the barrier projected out from the main face and stood only 50 feet high,
affording us the only opportunity we had of seeing its upper surface from our mastheads. It appeared to be quite smooth, and conveyed to the mind the idea of an immense plain of frosted silver. Gigantic icicles depended from every projecting point, proving that it sometimes thaws, which otherwise we could not believe.